and welcome to the Butterfly Empire, where we got murder mystery, coffee, your mom. It's cool. So, today we are covering a 2x4 case. You heard me? 2x4 attack. Do you want me to clarify? Okay, 16-year-old Jenny Pratt of Carlsbad, California, had hopes of one day becoming a model. In 1987, she was pretty popular and a sophomore at her local high school, but what mattered the most to Jenny was her boyfriend, Curtis Rost. Carl. Curtis drove a Porsche, had plenty of money, and was a good-looking surfer. As far as Jenny's mother, Diane Strong, knew, he was just a year older than Jenny. He looked 17. Further down the road, I found that he had been in jail for drugs and that he was a 24-year-old. Just bad news for a 16-year-old kid. That sounds about right. Against her parents' wishes, Jenny went out with Curtis on the night of April 25th, 1987. He borrowed a friend's motorcycle and promised Jenny he would get her back before her midnight curfew. Jenny never made it home. That night, Jenny Pratt was struck in the back of the head with an unusual weapon. A heavy wooden board, 6.5 feet long, swung by someone passing in a vehicle. Police speculated that assailants were local teenagers. Jenny's parents hoped that someone would finally have the courage to step forward with the truth. On the night of the attack, Jenny's parents received a call that their daughter had been airlifted to a nearby hospital, Diane Strong. They said her daughter had been in an accident and said, "Is she okay?" They wouldn't tell me anything. Only thing that we'd have to come down to see. Scripps Medical Center in La Jolla, California takes only the most severe cases. When Jenny's parents arrived, they were given the worst possible news. Their daughter was brain dead, possibly had hours to live. The blow from the board that struck her was great enough to actually crush the skull, and that caused immediate shutdown of her brain. They said I could see her, and what I saw was horrible. Her hair was red from all the blood. She was bleeding out of her nose, ears, and mouth. She had tubes all over. It was just like her whole body was just distorted. But miraculously, Jenny survived. She just lapsed into a deep coma. Sergeant Jim Byler of the Carlsbad Police Department was one of the officers involved in the investigation. Our first involvement in this case was to examine the evidence that was found at the crime scene, which consisted of a 2x4 that was used to hit Jenny and Curtis. So we examined that for physical evidence and did not find any fingerprints. There were some bloodstains on it, which were determined to be Jenny's. Curtis was interviewed that same day in Carlsbad Police Station. His account of what happened basically was he was giving Jenny a ride home. They were driving down Rancho St. Fe Road, getting ready to make a left turn. Curtis remembers the night vividly. We were just approaching the intersection, going pretty slow, and all of a sudden something struck me and I go, "Ow! What was that?" It hurt really bad, and then this car zoomed by. I turned around to tell Jenny that somehow someone threw something at me or something. I didn't know what happened. She was just out of it. So I just thought, oh my God, what is happening? Sergeant Jim Byler pieced the rest of the evening together based on Curtis's description. We believe it was a case where a truckload of juveniles had committed this crime. The white pickup truck went by them at a high rate of speed. Curtis had the impression that there was a larger group of juveniles in the back, that they were laughing as quickly as they went by, and the board came flying from the back of the truck. Quite frankly, we expected it to be a crime that would have been solved just by the nature of the juvenile having a tendency to talk, but to this day we have yet to have anybody come up and supply us with any direct knowledge of what happened that night. Jenny's parents hired private investigators Louis Kristofi, maybe I said that right, I don't know, who interviewed students at Jenny's high school. He surmised that Curtis was the target of the incident, not Jenny. 2 years before the attack, Curtis had been convicted of dealing cocaine. By cooperating with the police, he had served less than half of his sentence. Sergeant Jim Byler said, he developed a reputation as a snitch. When he got himself into trouble, and young people, particularly young people involved in drugs, tend to look down on somebody who develops that reputation. It's a lot of words. Police investigated several people who might have had a grudge against Curtis. They learned that he was confronted one of his enemies the night before the attack. Coffee break. Jenny's parents believed that the boy he confronted might have attacked Curtis and Jenny because of an argument. According to Curtis, the white pickup truck was traveling too fast for him to see the attackers. He said it went by about 55 miles per hour. Louis Kasafi didn't believe Curtis. Using mannequins as a stand-in for Jenny and Curtis. The white pickup truck was traveling too fast for him to see the attackers. He said it went by about 55 miles per hour. Louis Kristofi didn't believe Curtis. Using mannequins as stand-in for Jenny and Curtis, Kristofi reconstructed the incident. He reconstructed the incident at two different speeds. We used identical pickup as far as the model year and the size, the same type of motorcycle, and we used the same conditions. There's no way it could have happened the way that it said. In a 55-mile-an-hour reconstruction, the board swung by the assailant fell about 50 feet from the scene of the crime. But after the incident, police found the board only a few feet from the spot where Jenny was attacked. The second reconstruction played out at 10 miles an hour. The mannequin sustained injuries very similar to the one Curtis and Jenny actually received. At this time, the board fell right next to the motorcycle. Sophie felt that Curtis did actually see the people in the pickup truck, so he pressed him for more information. Finally, Curtis named names. One of them was the same boy he had fought on the night before the attack. Later, Curtis recanted, telling the police that he had given them the names because he felt pressured. The truck went by really fast, and people tried to say maybe I saw someone, but I really didn't. And we've done the lie detector test on me. I've passed everything. I've told the truth. I've only been there to help. I've always caved to everything they wanted me to do and cooperated with everything. But the private investigator seemed skeptical. We do believe that Curtis did in fact see those people. Curtis continuously told us that he had been threatened, that he has basically informed on people before, was very, very frightened that he would be killed, and he was already being threatened not to talk in the case. We have reason to believe that he's saying to the effect is true. Okay. Now, amazingly, 3 months after the attack, Jenny Pratt came out of her coma. At first, she seemed incapable of thought or action, but after 12 weeks, she started physical therapy. 7 months later, Jenny began to speak. A year later, she could walk. Jenny Pratt can't understand who would be motivated to commit such a brutal attack. Why was somebody mad at me? What did I do to them for them to hurt me? Private investigators' last thoughts. We need somebody in the community with half the courage of Jennifer Pratt. Somebody who just knows the one missing link. The one thing that'll tie this whole case together. But I really think that's all we're missing is one small link. Someone out there has it.